We spoke about privacy notice in the previous video. Today we'll talk about privacy policy. Why is that important and how does it actually differentiate from a privacy notice? Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy. And as I said, let's talk about what is so different about privacy policy as compared to a privacy notice. Well, the basic idea is that the privacy notice is for telling the data subject how his data is going to be processed, and privacy policy is telling the internal team how they have to process personal data that they have collected for a given purpose. What is our commitment with our data principles? So, an internal document, sort of a governance document, telling our teams how we are handling the data, outlining how the organization handles the complete data, and demonstrates our accountability. Right? It basically says that we are processing, and this is the way we are supposed to process. This is the way we are accountable to our data subjects. Helps ensure that our teams who are handling the data are handling it the way it has been committed. It's aligned with the privacy notice. Helps us perform audits and assessments because there also the regulators will come and ask you, do you have a privacy policy for your organization? And it's a must. And data could be of multiple types, right? Your organization might be collecting marketing related personal data, HR related personal data. So, under privacy regulations, it's mandatory to have a privacy policy. And as I mentioned earlier, also it's not same as privacy notice. Notice is for the public and policy is for the internal people. What should a policy include? It should include data classification and how does the data flow in the organization. What's the data life cycle in the organization? Access controls for the data. How is data controlled? Who controls it, or who has access for the data? What are the responsibilities of those individuals with respect to that data? And this definition is very, very important because you are committed to the world outside. Have you obtained consent? Okay, yes, you have obtained consent. What kind of consent? What levels of consent? Who all have that consent, right? That entire definition needs to be clear to those people who are processing the data, to the organization internally, and that's the basic purpose of the privacy policy. Are we doing lawful processing? If yes, how we call it lawful processing? What is the process of notifying a breach? It should not be that when your team looks at an incident, they get confused. When they look at a breach, they get confused and they don't know whom to report to, whom to tell that there's a breach in the system. Record keeping, who is doing the record keeping? And is the staff handling personal data trained appropriately? Are they handling personal data the way they are supposed to? What are the key concerns or what are the key points? What are the best practices while creating a privacy policy? It should be a role based policy, could be department wise. You could have a different policy for HR and a different for marketing because the nature of data they collect, which we spoke in the previous slide, that it should include classification. The nature of data they collect, the purpose of data they collect, the way personal data of an employee versus a prospect versus a customer versus a vendor will flow within the organization to different. So policies could be according to the way the data is going to flow or the respective departments. Policy should be reviewed regularly because there could be rule changes, there could be additional geographies added, new laws coming in. As and when there are changes, they should get updated. Policy should be aligned with notice just to make sure that what you have promised to the world is what your team is handling. It should be based on the real practices, not sort of just a document that needs to be created or has been created. This is very, very important that copy paste does not fit at all, right? Does not fit at all because what is applicable to some other organization or some other industry or some other geography may not be applicable. And if everything is a copy paste and applicable, that means you are not doing something special, right? Use clear and simple language, use images and icons wherever it is required. You should put in version dates and change histories even on the privacy policy so that yourself as well as your team are sure that these are the changes that happen to the policy. The policy should also be easily accessible, has to be. Else, what is it that your organization and your team members are going to follow? So, don't consider that privacy policy is something that can create issues. It's a very important governance guide for your internal team as to how they need to handle personal data of the data subjects coming in from outside. That's about the relevance and importance of privacy policy. I hope you like the content of my video. Please press the bell and the like icon. Subscribe to my channel and share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.